Well, hello, everybody. It's Christopher Dixieland Farm, and today I'm going to be doing a flight from over here at Lakeway Airpark, which is right outside of Austin, Texas. So, an airpark is basically a community that's kind of built around a very small private airport. Um, so, instead of off the taxiways, there'll be houses and and hangars. So, your house is literally on top of the airport. So you fly into your house and leave. And so there's different places all around the country that kind of have a lot of these things. Florida is one of them, and Texas is one of them, which would make sense. And then we're going to make our way over to San Angelo Regional Field uh, in San Angelo, Texas. I am making my way across the United States here. So I kind of started here in Hilton Head, and then you can see that I worked my way up all along the coastline into Long Island, and then over to the top of New York near Niagara Falls, over to Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, then back down through Chicago and Indiana and Ohio, Kentucky, back through Tennessee, and then there was actually a stop in Little Rock that didn't get lit up for some reason, to Louisiana, and then right around there um, in the Gulf, and then up to Austin, which did not get mapped here because I didn't include it in my data extraction here. So I'm using a program called Auto Ortho. So what that does is automatically put in satellite imagery. So if we come outside, what it'll do is it'll download the satellite imagery that I do not have already currently built. So as I fly into new areas, it will actually download and put in that material for me, which is really neat. So I couldn't do that before because I did not have a strong enough internet connection, but now I do. Now that I have fiber, I can do that, and I can do all these little neat things. So there's no part of the country that I can fly that I won't have satellite imagery now. Wonderful. And so you can see here at the air parking that they've got it mapped out, little hangars. That kind of represents the houses there, right? So hangars, houses, hangars, houses here at the air park. And then if we look into the distance, there's a little bit of a kind of a creek river bend that we can also see on the map here. So right in this area, right? So yeah, I'm going to load up the flight plan in the Piper Aerostar, which is a very fast aircraft. It should go around 250 to 270 knots. There is nobody online at the moment doing ATC service, but that is okay. I will just take care of myself, and have not started the program yet, so that's why you do not see me on the map. So let me get that loaded. Let's get the flight plan sent out, and we can start the flight, which should take about 40 minutes. All right, so here we are, back taxiing. We'll get to the end here, do a quick run up, and then off we go. Let's go ahead and close enough. Now, left mag, right mag, cycle the prop, the RPMs drop, the manifold pressure goes up, and the oil pressure goes down. Let's get that engine going, and let's let go. Got a little gust. There goes the gear. To the soup. That's fine. We'll break through in some moment here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the radar as we take off, and we've got a couple planes in front of us here. Got this guy at 10,000 feet, and we've got this guy at roughly 26,000 feet. So Let's get our cabin heat fan on, right? Oh yeah, let's go ahead and get our pressurization going. So if we don't get that pressurization going, what's going to happen is we're going to lose oxygen and we're going to pass out and then we'll die. So we don't want to do that. So we got our pressurization going. If you didn't have pressurization, you'd have to have alternate oxygen. But with this plane, not a problem. We've got oxygen in here and we can pressurize the cabin. So and while we're here, we can go ahead and set our radar altitude to 500 feet. So that's when we are about to land, we'll get a call out at 500 feet to kind of help us out. Climbing along at indicated 190, but you can see from the ground speed it's actually 200. So we're doing good there. And once we're out of the climb, then you'll see that ground speed go quite a bit more. You see we've got a crosswind of 21 knots, so that's kind of blowing us to the side a little bit. But we'll be fine. So isn't that scenery real cool? No matter where I go, I'll always have satellite scenery. It looked fine without it, but this does look better. And of course, this is what it looks like if you're a passenger right now. There we go, we're leveling off at 16,000. So after we level off here, we can bring down those RPMs again to first manifold pressure to about 23. We're going to save a little bit of money. And those RPMs to 23. And now I'm going to be leaning out the engines here. So start with one engine, wait for it to peak, right there, and wait for it to peak. All right, about there. You can see our fuel flow now is 19 gallons on each side. But you can also see from the ground speed, we're going at 254 knots, so 4 knots faster than I was expecting. So you'll often see stuff like this with satellite imagery. You see that straight line, so you got one picture overlapping with the other picture, and they don't always color match those things. So, so that's the seam of one picture to another picture. But you can see up here, it's a nice clear day. Now, this auto ortho, the image is not as clear as if I built the tile myself, but of course I'm flying into areas that I don't tend to go, so it's nice. And the program's smart. It'll start building the next tile I need, and then it'll manage itself and get rid of tiles I don't need. So that's really cool. But of course we've got no rest here, so pulling up the information on the airport here. You know, we go to junction and then we go up, and over here we've got a security in 4 days, TFR, maybe the president or something like that. Pulling up San Angelo Regional here. It's got 3 runways, okay. So 8,000 to 5,000 and 4,000. I can land at any of them. What else can we do? The tower's 118.3, so we can go ahead and plug that into the radio. So I'm ready to go. Next thing is the elevation is roughly 1,800 feet. So I want to be down to, let's say, 4,000 by Feldov. So let's go ahead and program that in. I want to be at 4,000. And I want to come down at 1,000 feet a minute. So in 9 minutes, that's when I'm going to start my descent. And can we look up the weather? KSJT. You see the pressure there is 304.4 and we're at 303.2, so somewhere in the middle we're going to have to start increasing. So 3037 at junction. So when we get to junction, we should change it to 3037 and then work our way with that. Looking at the airplane, we have 10 minutes to junction. So at 5 minutes, I'll probably dial in 3037. Normally, air traffic control would be giving you updates as you go along for pressure. 030, 12, gusting 18. So looking at the map, let's go ahead and pull that up at KSJT. Runway 3. What's the best runway for us? Well, that happens to be our runway 3. Perfect. Looking at the information here, runway 3 is roughly 6,000 feet. Also perfect. It's left traffic pattern, so we got that. Great. Pulling up the airport diagram. As we come in runway 3, we're going to either want to come here at D or turn onto runway 27 and work our way back over, then come down to the FBO, fixed base operator. That's basically where the small GA airplanes go. But then also you got general aviation parking down here. Do we have any? We do. We've got an ILS for runway 3. Let's load that up. So while we are going to be visual on ILS on runway 3, we'll dial in the localizer right here as well, just to help us guide ourselves, make sure we're coming down correctly. But we'll cross midfield, join the left-hand one for runway 3, come downwind, turn base, and then turn final. But I'll still dial that in, 109.7. Alright, we're coming up to junction here, and we can actually start our descent. So let's go ahead and do just that. Go ahead and put in attitude mode, and we're going to come down roughly 1,000 feet a minute, but we're also going to start reducing our power a little bit. That way we don't overspeed on the way down. So what I did was made sure that we kept the same indicated airspeed, but also you can kind of tell from the ground speed that I'm keeping the roughly the same speed down. And we're going to level off at 4,000 feet, but we're just going to take our time coming down. So taking a look at the radar here, we've still got this little guy, but he's well off to our right, and nobody's in the vicinity, no air traffic control at all, which that's fine. This is basically where you grab that first waypoint, and we're about to turn off right around here in a second at junction and make our way up to the airport up here. So there it goes. That's the airport right in front of us. Let's put it into heading mode. Then we're going to switch over the V-lock, go ahead and put on the nav radio, and we're coming in runway 030, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in so that way it'll line up, and once we hear that Morse code come in, then that's when we know we have the ILS signal to help us guide in. And so pattern altitude is 3,000 feet, so we can come down just slightly here. So let's go ahead and put it into attitude mode and come down 500 feet a minute. Let's get our landing lights on. Let's go ahead and increase our fuel mixture. Crab just slightly here. And there's our runway out there. Gear down. And turn. Return to final. We're a little low at the moment, but that's okay. I'm just resting that turn until we can get back on the glide slope. Mathis traffic, this is Twin Piper 5522 Lima on final for runway 3. Full stop, Mathis. Doesn't look like there are any lights to guide me in, but that's okay. We know we're on the glide slope because I just see that line now. Got it all under control. Let's go ahead and start reducing our speed though. As we come down, I'm using quite a bit of rudder to control everything, but let's slowly get in here. Let's do a second notch of flaps. Saying I'm a little high. It's alright, small corrections. So I get my speed under control.
Terrain.
We know we've got terrain, turn off that. And one more call. Mathis traffic, this is Twin Piper 5522 Lima on short final for runway 3. Full stop, Mathis. Alright. So, because we're visual here, I'm just going to trust my eyes, but we're on the glide slope now, I can see. A little gusty, a little fast. I'm trying to control all of that. There we go. On our way down here. Just hold it off. Hold it off. Using aerodynamic braking to slow us down so we can get off at this taxiway. Turn off our fuel pumps here. Right here on Delta. Landing light off, strobe light off. Mathis traffic, this is Twin Piper 552 Lima on Delta, taxiing to the FPO. Mathis. too early of a flare. See, right here. Is where I start leveling it off, and I should have done it a little bit later. So now I'm just floating way too high. Then I lose all that energy, and then kind of boom. So I should have held off a little bit, but you know, that's why you do these post-mortem. See what you can do better. But now that we're in the airplane, we can go ahead and turn off the transponder, reset ourselves to 1200 for next time. Turn off that cabin heat. Probably should have done off the engine bleeds. Deflate engine seal or cabin seal, yeah. Turn off the avionics. Turn off the nav lights. There we go. The trees back there were a little windy and in Texas. Then also let's cones. There we go. All right. Well, thanks everyone for flying along with me. Hope you learned a couple of things. I know I did. Always improving. Next Land Farm. Take care.